Exponents and solving simple equations. Simplify and evaluate. For the first one here, we are given square root of 13 square minus 5 square. Trick to follow here, or thing to be careful here with, is we cannot say square root and square cancels here because there is a subtraction in between. So instead of that, what we'll do is we'll do 13 square. Some of us know 13 square is 169. If not, you can use calculator to say 13 times 13, because square will not be a function in your test. Your only given functions to you are multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So you do 13 times 13 using that calculator, or no, 13 square is 169, and then 5 square is 25. And then 169 subtract 25 will be square root of 144. Again, we subtract it manually, or we use our calculator to do it for us. So 144, and then some of us know 144 is 12 square. If not sure, we'll try an error in calculator, like 11 times 11 gives me 121. So that's not enough. 12 times 12 gives me 144. So this simplifies to 12. For the second one here now, again very tempting to say 2 subtract 5 is 3, but I cannot do that. I have to follow order of operations. So I have to do exponent first. 3 square, which is 3 times 3, will be 9. And then multiplication, 5 times 9 gives us 45. 2 subtract 45 will give us negative 43 as the answer. Some of the exponent rules here now, because we are given 2 to the 4, divide by 2 to the negative 2. Same bases are being divided, we subtract the exponents. So we will say 2 to the power of 4 subtract negative 2. 4 subtract negative 2 will basically mean 2 to the power of 4 plus 2. 2 to the power of 4 plus 2, which will be 2 to the power of 6. Now 2 to the power of 6 can be one of your answers in multiple choice, or if not that, we'll have to find what is 2 to the power of 6. That means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 multiply itself 6 times, which will be 64. For the next one here then, again same base is being divided, we subtract the exponents. So in our case, b to the power of 8 minus 3, which will then end up giving us b to the power of 8 minus 3 is 5. And then we cannot simplify this more, so it will be just b to the power of 5. For the next one now here, applying exponents rule again, the cube will apply to everything in the bracket. So we will have 5 cubed, a square cubed. So it will be like this, a to the power of 2 and then cubed. So a to the power of 2 and then cubed, b cubed and c cubed, b cubed and then c cubed. So we get here 5 to the power of 3. Either we know it's 125, if not we can do 5 times 5, which is 25, times 5 again, which will be 125. A square cube, 1 base, 2 exponents, we multiply those exponents, so 2 times 3 will give us 6. B to the 3, C to the 3 will remain same. So our answer will be 125 a to the 6 times b square times c cubed. Now next 3 questions are about absolute values or magnitude. Absolute values of any number will be positive. If there is a number in front which is a negative, then that stays negative. What I mean by that here is we have negative 7 minus 5, absolute value of those. Negative 7 minus 5 will simplify to negative 7 minus 5. So minus 7 minus 5 will give us negative 12, and then absolute value of negative 12 will be positive 12. So the result here will be 12. Similarly, for the next one we have now we have y equals negative 2 minus 3. So we'll simplify whatever is inside the absolute value. So in our case it will be minus 2 plus 3, minus 2 plus 3. Two negatives will make it plus, so negative 2 plus 3. So the result ends up being absolute value of 1, positive 1, absolute value of positive 1, and then absolute value of positive 1 will be back to 1. So solution to this one will be 1, positive 1. Now thing to be careful here with is, what if I had a negative in front here? If I had a negative in front here, all the way here, negative here just for example, then that negative will stay here, and then that will stay here negative, and then absolute value of 1 is 1, but the negative outside to stay there. So the result will be a negative 1 like this. Now for the next one here, we have absolute value of negative 7, which will be a positive 7, subtract absolute value of 5 is positive 5. It's very tempting to make these two negatives positive, but we cannot do that. We have to do absolute value first. Absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5, and the negative remains same. So 7 minus 5 will end up giving us positive 2. For the next one here now, we are given x value to be half, and we are asked to solve for this. So wherever we see x, we'll put half there. So we have 2 times half square, 2 times half square minus 4 times half. Now 2 times half square is 1 square, which is 1, divided by 2 square, which is 4. So it's 2 times a quarter minus half of 4 will be 2. Now 2 times a quarter, the 2 and 4 reduces to 1 and 2. So basically it becomes a half. Subtract 2. Now we can write 2 as 4 over 2, and 1 over 2 minus 4 over 2 will give us negative 3 over 2. So our final answer for that one will be negative 3 over 2. For the next one here then, we are told a is negative 3, b is 5, and we are asked to find value of this. So what we'll do here is, wherever we see a, we will put negative 3, wherever we see b, we will put 5 there. So we have 2 times 5, subtract negative 3. So instead of a, we'll say negative 3, divide by 2 times a, which is 2 times negative 3, times b, which is 5. Now for this one here, what we can do here is, we have 10 minus 3 will be plus 3. So 10 plus 3 will be basically 13 in the numerator. So the numerator will become 13. Denominator, it's 2 times negative 3 times 5. So 2 times negative 3, we can simplify to negative 6 and times 5. So we'll get 13 divided by negative 30. Okay, 13 divided by negative 30. We cannot reduce this further because 13 is a prime number. So we will get 13 divided by negative 30. For the next one here, we are asked to solve for r, and we are given volume V equals 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So if you want r alone, we need to get rid of 4 over 3. So first thing what we can do is get rid of 3 by multiplying both sides by 3. We get 3 times V equals 4 pi r cubed. Now to get rid of 4, we divide both sides by 4. So 3V over 4 equals pi r cubed. Or you can get rid of 4 pi together by having this pi gone and divide by here. So dividing both sides by 4 pi, we get 3V over 4 pi equals r cubed. And lastly, if we want r alone, we need to get rid of a cube. Opposite of cube is cubic root. So we say cubic root of 3V over 4 pi equals r, or r equals this. Next one here then, it says if 2x equals 5 minus 3 times this, subtract 4 times this, what is the value of x? Here again we have to be careful that 5 minus 3, it is very tempting to say it is 2 here, but we cannot do that. What we'll end up doing here is 2x, so we will say 2x equals 5 stays 5, subtract, multiply 3 inside, so we get 3 times 1, which will be a 3, plus 3x, subtract 4 times 2, which is 8, and that negative also applies to negative 7x, so that will be plus 28x. Further then, we will collect all x's on one side, the terms without x's on another side, or other way to look at it is doing opposite operations. 3x is being added here. To get rid of that, we subtract 3x on both sides. Similarly, 28x is being added here. Opposite of adding is subtracting. So subtract 28x on both sides, we get 2x minus 3x minus 28x equals 5 minus 3 minus 8. So on the left side, we have 2 minus 3, which is negative 1, minus 28, so it's negative 29x, equals, on the right side, we have 2 minus 8, which is minus 6. Divide both sides by negative 29, the result will be negative 6 over negative 29, which then simplifies to 6 over 29. We cannot reduce that, so that's where we'll stop for that one. For this one then, area of one tile will be 4 by 4, which is 16 centimeters square, and the required area is 80 by 80, which will be 6400 centimeters square. So one tile can cover 16. So how many tiles will we need for 6400 to cover 6400 centimeters square? It will be divide these two numbers. So 6400 divided by 16 will be 400. So we'll need 400 tiles. Okay. So for the next one here then, a family has 2 kids. One kid is twice old as the another one, and the total age of both kids is 9. How old are each of the kids? So if one kid is X years old and the other kid is double the age, so twice the age, so the another kid will have 2x age, and the sum of their age is 9. So we can say something like this. Now x plus 2x will be 3x equals 9. Divide both sides by 3, we get x equals 3. So the younger one is 3 years old and the other one is twice the x. So it will be 2 times 3. So that will be 6 years. So one is 3 years old, another one is 6 years old. Their sum is 9, which is true, 3 plus 6. And the elder one is twice age as the other one, which is the younger one, which is true. 3 times 2 will give us 6. So both the age of both kids are 3 and 6 years old.